RJ, do you know I have a new product for you? It will make your hair beautiful. A mom of two had a new haircut. This is how she ended up in the emergency room. RJ is a 41-year-old mother of two. She is presenting to the ER with chief complaint of anuria. She also has severe weakness, nausea, and vomiting. She was very pale and her husband was sustaining her because she was barely able to stand. After examination, she is found to have been suffered a serious damage. Tests say that she is in stage 3 AKI. This is bad! Stage 3 of AKI means that her creatinine was 3 times or more higher than normal. In just a few hours, RJ is going to need emergency RRT. But how is it possible that a woman without any previous conditions is now fighting for her life? Gathering here, welcome today to a new mystery from the emergency room. This is a very recent case study. It was published the 4th of January 2023 as a part of an original investigation on the journal AJKD. And the reason why today I'm showing you the story of RJ is because there is a very important lesson to learn from her. You see, what caused her problems is a very common product that's way more dangerous than people realize. Now, this is an ongoing crisis today and we still don't have a complete picture about the scope of the danger. So make sure to watch the whole video and to share it with people who may be interested, because this really is a mystery. Between 2019 and 2022, 26 women without any pre-existing condition that could explain this ended up in the emergency room, all of them due to a sudden, serious damage to their filtering organs, also known as AKI. In some of them, the injury was so severe that they needed to receive emergency RRT while in the hospital. Now, the strange part, before ending up in the ER, none of them had anything in common. Their age was ranging from 18 to 58 and they were all from different locations. They were from different paths in life and different jobs. Some didn't even have a job. They only had in common one thing. They were all women and they all had hairs. Let's make a step back now and let's see how RJ, our protagonist, and a mom of two, developed a damage so serious she had to receive emergency RRT. Just a few weeks before, RJ was going through a rough patch in her life. She just had the worst fight with her husband. So bad, RJ's husband ended up leaving her alone with her 2 young children. After a couple of days, RJ decided that what was going to make her feel better was a new haircut. However, she didn't know about one hidden danger. Now at home, RJ wasn't feeling good. How is it possible that every time I get a new haircut, I also get a bellyache, she thought. Maybe I will sleep a little and it will get better, she thought. But it didn't. The day after, the nausea was even stronger. RJ notices another worrying detail. She hasn't used the bathroom for more than 24 hours now. That day was the worst day of her life. RJ didn't know what to do or who to call, but she was so worried and she was feeling so unwell that she decided to try and talk to her husband anyway. Will he help RJ? Without she knowing anything about what was happening, her nephrons and tubules, the filtering units of the body, were being torn apart. Some unknown and mysterious toxin was releasing a huge amount of oxalate inside her body. Now, there is an organ in the body that's supposed to filter out oxalate. However, under certain circumstances, oxalate may bind to minerals and form crystals that can lead to serious damage inside this organ. These oxalate crystals have been seen to wreak havoc inside the tubules and nephrons, the filtering units of the body. We have seen in the past cases of people getting dangerously high oxalate levels due to foods they eat, in some cases due to pre-existing conditions or supplements. But RJ did none of these things. Hey RJ, I'm here. I'll take you to the hospital. Don't worry, I'll take care of the kids. And she's brought to the ER, where we are now. After being put on RRT, the hospital staff needed to understand what was happening to our protagonist RJ. And they were starting to get worried. A 41-year-old woman without any risk factor for calcium oxalate stones needing RRT due to AKI is not something you see every day. Question: what is AKI and why is it so worrisome? AKI is usually a non-permanent damage to the nephrons and tubules that constitute the filtration system. However, acute can turn into chronic if the source of the damage is not removed in a timely way. If the damage is repeated over time, it may become permanent. And something that causes an injury so serious it raises creatinine levels 3 times or more, like in RJ cases, may easily cause a permanent loss of GFR. This could mean a lifetime on RRT. Laboratory investigations revealed a serum creatinine of 3.46 mg per dl. 1 year prior to the event, her creatinine was 0.6 mg per dl, meaning that she has received a very serious damage in a very short amount of time. Her history, however, wasn't going to give any clue to those examining her. A few years ago, RJ underwent an operation of sleeve gastrectomy. She is also suffering from hypothyroidism. The ER staff knows pretty well that none of these conditions can cause AKI. However, she also hasn't changed the way she was eating recently, nor started to take any supplement at all. And well, besides getting a new haircut, RJ spent most of the previous days at home being a good mother for her children. It was clear now that the cause of the damage was something never seen before. This is why the ER staff was really worried. RJ was now being questioned about what she did during the previous days. They asked her all sorts of questions. RJ, have you eaten or drunk anything that can explain this damage? Are you taking NSAIDs regularly, or maybe a proton pump inhibitor? Have you been exposed to anything at all? Her answers were all negative, and she was not lying. What caused her injury was something never seen before. I straightened my hair 2 days ago, and then I started to feel nauseated. Could that be the problem? It's really unlikely. And yes, that was a bad decision by the staff. Now the worst part, after her, between 2019 and 2022, 25 more women suffered from the same mysterious and dangerous injury. The hospital staff was stumped now. Nothing made sense. There was only one thing to do now. An invasive procedure was their last chance to understand what was happening. What the biopsy found out was an acute tubular necrosis, acute interstitial nephritis, and glomerular damage. What all that means is that there were calcium oxalate depositions that were literally tearing apart the tissue inside RJ kidneys. This is a condition called acute oxalate nephropathy, which is usually caused by a huge intake of something either containing oxalate or causing oxalate to form inside the body. However, what was causing all this oxalate to form inside RJ's body was still a mystery at this point. Was she even going to be able to recover? A nurse was talking to RJ when she noticed something no one else noticed before: a scalp rash. What's caused RJ's problem? What caused RJ's problem is an under-recognized and dangerous chemical toxic agent. It's something called glyoxylyl carbocysteine, or GC in short, and it's used in many popular hair products. The day before hospitalization, RJ straightened her hair at a hair salon. And while years ago, formaldehyde was used to straighten hair, today formaldehyde-free hair straightening products are used because they are supposed to be safer. This is a popular hair styling style called keratin technique. This new technique allows a smooth and a shiny hair look for up to several months. Over the last 2 decades, keratin technique, sometimes called Brazilian keratin technique, has become very popular. It's believed to enhance hair color and shine, and it may be applied on all types of hair. And one of the main selling points is the absence of formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is a teratogenic agent, and acute exposure may result in skin lesions, headaches, eye irritation, and even AKI. This is why several countries, including Brazil, Canada, and the European Union, ban its use in straightening products. This led to an increase in the use of GC in hair straightening products. Now, this is very important. Products containing glyoxylyl carbocysteine, GC in short, are not banned today, and they are considered safe. However, we know now that GC can release formaldehyde when heated, like it happened to RJ when the hairdresser was straightening her hair. This is a serious problem that most people don't know about. In literature, 26 of AKI following hair straightening formaldehyde-free product exposure were reported. All cases were reported after 2019. The spectrum of injury and nephrotoxic effect ranges from mild to severe. Some of the women had to undergo RRT. Guys, be careful out there. These potentially nephrotoxic products are still on the market and still commonly used today. While we wait for tighter regulations to protect the consumer, the best we can do is spreading the awareness for this hidden danger. Now let's see how it ended for RJ. Was RJ able to make it home safe? In the case of RJ, AKI was a complication caused by exposure to hair straightening products branded as formaldehyde-free. After the staff found out about this, and thanks to the biopsy they performed, they were able to identify RJ's problem, interstitial nephritis, and this means that they could actually do something about it. They gave her prednisolone, a corticosteroid, for 1 week. This immediately reduced the inflammation, protecting her nephrons. 1 week later, serum creatinine decreased to a level of 0.98 milligrams per dl. A creatinine of 0.98 milligrams per dl means that she was able to make a full recovery. And this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless. And if you want to see more real stories like this one, please click the thumbnail up here.